Hello, Carol here. Today, in our 5 days to boost your immune system, we're going to be talking about our lymph system, which is a system that is just an amazing part of our body, and we don't think about it enough or give it enough love. So today we're going to learn how to give our lymph system some love. And what the lymph system is, it's a system very similar to our cardiovascular system. In fact, it has similar veins and arteries throughout. It has a little difference, though, in that it has not nodes, lymph nodes, they're called. Sometimes you can feel them underneath your chin here, your lymph nodes here, or you might feel them in different spots in your body. You might feel a little bump or something. That may be a node that is maybe swollen or for some reason. A lot of times we feel these underneath our chin because, like we talked about yesterday, our mucous membranes for our mouth uh, stop the bacteria that's coming in immediately. And so the lymph system is what takes that excess bacteria and processes it, basically. It plays this critical role in our defense system. And I just want to talk first about our normal elimination process. When we, for instance, when we eat and our food is processed by our digestive system, then it goes into our liver that takes out toxins, and then it goes in through our cardiovascular system, and the body uses what it needs and it eliminates what it doesn't need through our urine. And that's all handled by the cardiovascular system. But what happens with the excess toxins? Sometimes we overeat quite often, or just occasionally, or maybe we eat something that our body just doesn't handle very well, or it's toxic. Maybe we're eating too much sugar. For example, our body often has a hard time processing sugar, and it's a toxin to it. So what does the body do with the excess? Oftentimes it will throw it off, and it lands in between our cells in our body. So not only do we have cells, but we have the spaces between the cells, right? It's just like the way that we live. We have ourselves, we have our boards, and we have different things around us, but then there's this space between us. And hi, Miriam. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. And so this space between holds some of those excess toxins, which the lymph system then picks up and, like I said before, processes it through the lymph nodes. This system is slow moving. It doesn't have a pump like the heart, like our cardiovascular system that pumps at an amazing rate our blood. Our lymph system, however, has no pump. It will move, however, and we can make it move by moving ourselves. Our muscles are what moves the lymph throughout the body. So it's very slow moving, and it processes it, and it puts it into a form that takes it back to the cardiovascular system so it can get out of the body and be removed from the body. The thing is that if we have so many toxins, and we have toxins in our body that we get from the air, like we talked about yesterday when we were discussing how all these toxins come into our body. It's not just one or two things. It's not just what we eat. But our body has to process all of this. And when we overeat, it's even processing more. Or when we eat the wrong things, like processed food that has a lot of synthetic items in it that our body doesn't know what to do, our body has to figure out what to do with it. And that's what our lymph system is for. So that's what you're feeling under here when you feel these lymph nodes. Now, I'm wondering, hi Jill, nice to see you. I'm wondering if you have ever felt like you had this ongoing cold that you just couldn't get rid of all the gunk in your head. And no matter what you took or how many vitamin C you took, you still had gunk in your head. Well, I have a little story for you around that. And this is why I love lymph massage. I went 3 years accumulating hearing loss in my right ear. Now, I'm a speech and hearing pathologist, and I know that hearing loss affects people at a huge amount as we get older. So, for instance, people who are in their 60s, generally 30% of them have hearing loss. People who are over 85, 80% of the people over 85 have hearing loss. And this is also according to a study done by American Family Physicians. And of course, I tried all the protocols for getting my ear cleaned out. And finally, when I could no longer hear in the morning, when I had my left side on my pillow, my right side, the hearing was so bad that I couldn't hear out of my ear anymore. And so I expected that I had to go to an ENT and maybe get a hearing aid and do all those things that old people do, right? However, I have a craniosacral therapist who introduced me to ways to drain the lymph system. And she taught me these techniques. And you know what? In 4 days, after 3 years of dealing with this, in 4 days of doing these techniques, my ear cleared up, and I have not had a problem since. That was 4 months ago. So I want to share these techniques with you. I know that it'll help to clear your sinuses, clear your ear blockages, and so watch these techniques, watch how I'm doing them. This is why I have my little top on this morning, because I want to make sure that you can see, and I also am going to pull my hair back here. 30% of hearing loss, by the way, is caused by obstruction in the ears, which is what we can clear using these techniques. So the first technique, I have to take my glasses off here, is across the cheekbones. And you just want to use your lightest finger touch here and just kind of go across. And I'm going to get closer here, go across your cheekbones. And the way you need to do this, you need to touch your lymph for 5 seconds and then leave it for 5 seconds. And so the way that I do it, so that I don't have to count constantly, is I take a deep breath, perform the massage, let it out. And you should do each of these techniques about 5 times, but I'm going to save some time here, just do it 2 or 3 times. The next one, under the ear, and you can just, again, use your 2 lightest fingers and just go underneath the ear, and you just kind of pull it. You don't really pull the skin. You're not pulling it down or anything. You're just kind of running across it. These lymph nodes are just right under the surface here in our face and around our neck. So you just want to pull it down. And do that 5 times. And then you want to hit this muscle back here behind, it's kind of at the side of the neck. And I just use most of my fingers here, and you don't go any deeper. It's kind of like a butterfly touch, just very lightly. And the next one is right here on the top of the sternum muscle, right here. And you just put your fingers down kind of in the form of a J and bring it towards you, in the form of a J. Do that 5 times. And then the next one that's very important is you're going to drain it, because the lymph drains into our our clavicle, right below, I'm sorry, not our clavicle. It drains right into our heart here in our major artery. And so you want it, this one, just right at the top, right kind of behind the clavicle bones. You want to put your fingers in there and move them towards the throat. Now, these 5 techniques of lymph massage, if you do this every day, do it in the morning after you, before you put your makeup on, I guess, after you've put on your oil, like we talked about yesterday when we were talking about the skin. And then do this technique, and then do it again at night, particularly if you feel blockage and so forth. So then do it at night before you go to bed. You'll find that you breathe easier. It's almost a meditation is the way I feel about it. And your sinuses will clear, and it'll be a really interesting thing. So I can't wait to see what you think about this after you've done a few. And I will put your PDF in your email, and I will also add it to the underneath the unit. And what I'm doing with the videos is after the day of the video, I'm going to put it into a unit. The unit section is over on the left hand side of your screen, which is, it's backwards for me. So anyway, it should be on the left hand side. It'll say units, and when you click on that, you'll see day 1 and then day 2, and you'll have your handouts below there. Now, because this was, usually I want to give you 3 protocols, but because there were so many techniques in this, these were 5 techniques of lymph massage for your face and head. The second technique I want to give you, and I don't want to overload you, so this is going to be my last technique today, is an aromatherapy protocol. So you can use essential oils to help clear out your sinuses. And a really great way to do that is to do a steam bath. And of course, we can do it in the tub, or we can do it in the shower. But one nice way to do it, and it's quick, is to take a bowl and fill it partway with water, hot water, as hot as you can get it. And then put it on your table, your desk, and maybe put a towel underneath it. But then you put a towel over your head, because what you're going to do is you're going to put a drop or 2 of essential oil in the hot water. And you're going to do it, what happens with the hot water is the hot water will make the oils evaporate, and then you breathe those oils in. The best oil for that is eucalyptus or peppermint. And you just want to take 1 or 2 drops. You don't want to start with more than 2 drops. If you just put a whole bunch of drops in there, 10 or 20, it could be too much and you might have a reaction to it. So you just want to start with 1 or 2 drops. Put a towel over your head, put the bowl underneath it, and breathe in. And usually the essential oils will be there, especially, be contained in this area for about 5 minutes. And so you just continue to breathe. That's a wonderful way to open up your sinuses using essential oils. Now, make sure that you only use certified organic essential oils, eucalyptus and peppermint. And that is because essential oils are easily adulterated with synthetic products. And if they're not organic, they will have pesticides and herbicides in them, contained in them as well. And we've seen them in, when our scientists take a look at the essential oils, we see the pesticides that are in them. So be sure to use organic, because you don't want anything synthetic getting so close to your brain, right? This is your brain right here, and you're breathing these in, and you want them to be organic, and you don't want any synthetic, or certainly no pesticides or herbicides. So that is our program for today, and Thank you so much for watching, Miriam and Jill. Thank you for joining me. Do you have any questions? I'll wait for just a moment to see if there's any questions. It takes me a couple of minutes to get your comments on here. But I hope that these protocols for the lymph system will help you with any sinus issues that you might be dealing with, and will help you with any ear blockages that you might have. About 30% of hearing loss is caused by obstructions in our ear, and this is such a simple way to relieve those obstructions is to do this lymph massage that includes underneath our ears, and can clear those out. So I don't see any comments, and I appreciate you watching. And tomorrow we're going to be talking more about the digestive system and its role in our immune system. See you then. Bye.